Good morning, everyone. We're doing a little sip and stroll today, mostly unedited garden stroll. I posted on Instagram yesterday that we actually got a little bit of rain, not nearly enough, but we got a little bit of rain last night. And then by the time the rain stopped, it was going to be dark. There was not enough time to get a video in before it got dark. So postponed till this morning, which is actually fine. It's really quite pretty outside right now. Although it's shocking to me how late the sun comes up now. Anyway, so this morning Sip and Stroll brought to you by coffee. So last week we skipped mail because I wanted to do that dahlia bouquet. So we've got a little bit of mail to catch up on for the postcard project, which is kind of just generally what it's called. Which is, if you're new here, by the way, welcome. I live in southeastern Wisconsin in zone 5B, 6A. Lake Michigan is right over there. A couple of you have been asking in the videos if that's what you're hearing in the background. Yes, that's what you're hearing in the background. It's like 400 feet and a house away that direction. First of all, I just want to say that I got a package in the mail. Karen sent me this beautiful book about dahlias, which was so kind of her. Thank you, Karen, so much for that. You know I will get myself into a lot of trouble with this book, so thank you very much for that. That was really sweet. Now, the postcard project, this is where, this says not a postcard, just a little something for you. I never know if these are intended to be opened on camera or not, so I can edit this out if it's not. Oh, my God, though. Oh, she sent me poppy seeds. Oh, and some of them fell out, so I'm going to have to... Thank you, Erin, for making the world a better place. Gosh, that's very kind. Your personality comes through, and I, like most people, feel like I know you and you're a friend. Thank you. I love that. I feel like you guys are my friends, too. I'm enclosing some poppy seeds for you. Don't know what they are, but you can see from the picture, the pods are huge. Look at this picture. Oh, my God. The poppies themselves grew to 6 feet tall. Oh, my gosh. I just want to be very careful with these because some of the poppy seeds are falling out and I don't want to lose any. Although if I lose some, they might as well go on the ground. Okay, that was from Ivy. Thank you so much, Ivy. Amazing. Here's a beautiful postcard. Look at that gorgeousness. This is Kew Gardens Water Lily House. Okay, hello from London. Just waiting to fly home to Canada after 10 fabulous days in London, including the Garden Museum, a delight, and Kew Gardens. Kew was so beautiful and filled my heart with its lush beauty. It's definitely worth another visit. It was too large to see in just one day. I even managed my time to visit so that the lilies look just like this. Absolutely stunning, made me think of you. This is from Lorinda in Victoria, British Columbia. Thank you so much for sending that. Actually, you guys, Carol, who helps me out in the garden occasionally when she's able to, a few hours here and there, 2 or 3 weeks ago, she was planning a trip out to Philadelphia area, and she was going to go do Chanticleer and Longwood, and I told her made some other recommendations. There's so many good gardens out there. Anyway, and then it was funny because we were talking. She said, "Well, where would you like to go if you were going on a garden tour at this time of year?" And I said, "Listen," I said, "before I can even name anything else, I really need to like check off a trip to the UK." And next thing you know, she texts me and she says, "The weather for next week is terrible in the East Coast. We're not going to go there. We're going off to London." And they went to Kew. And she said, "Let me know if you have any other suggestions." I didn't know what was close to Kew. As it turns out, I think they went to a couple other places. I still have not had a chance to talk to her properly about it, but she did send me pictures while she was there. And she said Kew took them days. Well, I told her, I said, don't miss the glass house. And she goes, "Erin, do you know how many glass houses are here?" I'm like, "I guess I don't. I thought there was just that one huge one." So anyway, I have to get all the deets from her. Okay, look at this gorgeous, beautiful photo. I can tell I don't even know where this is coming from. Bet you it's New England, because that is where, yes, Massachusetts. How did I know? I knew because, hang on, I got my screen back on. There we go. I knew because that's how you get beautiful blue hydrangeas like that. On a recent late summer trip to Cape Cod, I had a chance to visit Cape Cod Lavender Farm in, I think it's Iterwich, Massachusetts. We were there after Labor Day because then we can bring our pup to the beach. and the fields of lavender were already harvested. There was an adorable gift shop on the grounds and a variety of lavender plants for sale. Also, this card is a beautiful example of hydrangeas that do so well on the Cape. Photo taken by a local photographer, Garden Tempest. Hydrangeas do beautifully on the Cape and are especially wonderful to see along scenic Route 6A. Thank you for the hard work you do on your channel. I've learned so many things from you over the years. This is from Ellen. Ellen, that is really sweet. She also sent, oh, look at this. Look at, that's the lavender drying there, and look at this. So to me, like heaven, a little bit of heaven is that typical Cape Cod scene with those aged cedar shingle houses and bright blue hydrangeas in front. I mean, I know it's very Nancy Myers, and I guess I'm here for it. Thank you so much for sharing that. I definitely have gotten to the part where I realize that I need to do more traveling. And I just need to leave the garden sometimes and go do more because I'm missing out on good stuff. And I think this postcard project has helped me learn so much of what I should be out there discovering. Oh my God, oh, this is gorgeous. This is just a beautiful card. By the way, this greeting card includes a plantable woodland creature made from our special seed paper. How fun. So that would be the plantable woodland creature. How fun. Okay. Oh, I can tell you right now, somebody went to Longwood because look at that gorgeousness there. You can always tell the glass. I mean, oh my God, look at those displays, those hanging baskets they do at Longwood are always amazing. Greetings from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Thank you for sharing your gardening knowledge with us. You are my favorite YouTuber. Oh, Tim, thank you. That's really sweet. And I always look forward to watching your videos. I am fortunate to live near so many inspirational gardens such as Longwood, Chanticleer, and Morris Arboretum. I included a picture of the beautiful plant spears that they have at Longwood and a picture of the fernery at Morris Arboretum. Oh my God. I also included a picture of my banana tree. I bought mine the same year you did. I've been overwintering it ever since. It can be found on YouTube as The Long-Haired Gardener and have several videos of the aforementioned gardens if anyone is interested. Thank you again. Okay, this is from Tim. There's Tim's banana. Thank you for sharing your banana, Tim. It's beautiful. Okay, so you guys, The Long-Haired Gardener on, and I'm just going to say, well, maybe Tim's got his hair up in a ponytail because it doesn't look like he got long hair in that picture. So we're going to have to check out that channel. Thank you for sharing that. All right, amazing mail, you guys. Please share your garden inspiration if you feel like the address is always in the description. Before we walk around, well, first of all, I'll show you what's at my feet here. Here's Dorothy, and there's Magnus. Somebody thought I said maggots the other day. No, it's Magnus. Who you can tell has gotten a lot bigger since I introduced you to him, 2 weeks ago. The vet weighed him this week. He was 34 pounds on Monday, so he's probably 37 pounds by now, I would guess, because at this age, they just grow so quick. I'm trying a different camera angle for this video, or a aspect ratio for this video today, because I've been noticing, like especially on the one I did in my mom's garden, I felt like it was a little narrow and you were missing some wider scenes. So I'm going to try this little wider format. Let me, if you have feedback about that, I'd be happy to hear it. I want to answer 3 questions that came up repeatedly in videos this week. I don't usually answer questions. I try to answer them in the comments, actually. I don't usually try to answer them in these videos. But when I see the same comments over and over again, I feel like they should be addressed. So 2 of them came out of the Overwintering Tender Plants video. One of them was, couldn't you take cuttings of that Fats Hedera? And because its heritage is part Hedera, which is ivy, it's totally, it seems to me like, yeah, you absolutely could, because ivy's really easy to take cuttings from. So my first thought was like I was a little late because most of what I cut off was really quite woody. And then I saw that comment again, and I told several people, I think it was too late. I could have done it, but I think it was too woody. I should have done it sooner. And then my mom reminded me that she had asked if she could get cuttings of it when I brought it inside. So yeah, I went out to the compost pile and grabbed some stems that were still looking okay, and actually did take some cuttings, and I have them inside right now, seeing if I can revive them enough to get them going. So I am trying that. Great point. Should have thought of it sooner. I don't know why, whatever. I guess I was just in a hurry to get those jobs done, and in the process, I forgot to do some of those jobs. So I will let you know how that works. Second of all, there was a lot of questions about the mangave and why I don't just leave them in their pots and sink them in the ground in the garden, because a lot of people do that. The main reason is because mangaves get cranky about water. When I got those originally, they needed a lot of water to get established. It is not like, I mean, I don't know Manfreda at all, which is part of what goes into a mangave. It's agave and Manfreda. I don't know Manfreda at all, but that must be where the water part of it comes from, because they definitely need more water than an agave does. They are still a succulent, but they definitely want some moisture. Because I don't have any sort of automatic irrigation in that garden and actually don't water that garden very much at all, it's got a good soil in that garden. So generally speaking, that stuff takes care of itself pretty well after I water it in the beginning of the year. Those things would not have survived in that pot without supplemental watering, because there's no way they can pull moisture from the soil by doing that if they're in a plastic pot, obviously. So I would have had to either hook up drip, which I am considering for that garden, or I would have had to hand water those. And I just know that it's hard to hand water those, because as you saw, you have to kind of get underneath them. So it's hard to get at the root zone of those plants. The amount of time and effort it would have taken to hand water those plants was way more than the time and effort it takes to dig them up and repot them. It really wasn't that big of a deal to repot them. I just didn't really know what to expect exactly when I brought them out. Also, you know, if you want them to get some size, they need a little room to grow. And there was no room in those pots that they were in. I mean, they were fully rooted into the pots they came in. So I would like those to get bigger. I would like those to keep getting bigger. I mean, at some point, I think they might be at their theoretical max size. I don't even know. So anyway, I might change that in the future, but that's why I didn't do it this year. Then the last comment was yesterday, Saturday, I put up the video of the tour of my mom's garden. I apologize for the audio in that. Here's the situation. You know, people are very reticent to show their gardens publicly. And if they are going to have a garden tour done, they spend a lot of time working in their garden to get their garden looking really, really good. Which is why you don't see more garden videos, like tours, on this video channel. It's not because I don't ask people, it's because it's a ton of work. People feel like they need to get their gardens ready to like the point they would if they were having a garden tour. So if they're already having a tour or an event for some reason, that's when I try to strike. Anyway, my mom is really busy. So I didn't want to add more to her plate by making her feel like she had to prepare her garden for a tour. I happened to be over there on Saturday stealing plants from her, and I brought my camera, which you're going to see part of that in another video. I brought my camera along to film that, and then I said, can we just walk around your garden? She said, that's fine, go ahead, whatever, it is what it is. So that's why I didn't even have microphones for that, and that's why that was like totally unplanned, on the fly. It ended abruptly because then my dad needed me for something. So that's why that video was that way. Also, by the way, I kept calling it my mom's garden. You guys, it really is my parents' garden. It's my parents' house and my parents' garden, and my dad is very involved in helping in the garden. He doesn't do the actual planting or deciding things, but my mom could never do it without him there, because obviously he helps with all the hard work parts of it. So it is very much a team event, and I feel very bad that I kept calling it my mom's garden and my mom's house, because it's very much my parents in both cases. Fortunately, I don't think my dad will watch it, so he probably doesn't know that I did that, but I feel bad about that. And then there was a ton of comments of like, yeah, this is great. Why didn't you show us this in summer? Well, I didn't show it in summer because of what I just mentioned. I was not going to put that on my mom in summer. Second of all, I have done a summer tour there. And I actually linked it in 3 places in the video. There was a card that popped up. It was the featured video at the end of the video, and it was in the description. So I actually was there in 2021 in mid-June, which is kind of summer. So you did see it. You could see it then too. So a lot of people were kind of grumpy that I showed it now, and that's why I didn't do it now. But many of you really enjoyed it, and clearly she does some things very, very, very well in that garden. And I do find it very inspirational. In particular, that ornamental grass area, which I wouldn't, by the way, in summer that would have looked like nothing. Because of course, ornamental grasses, this is when they're showing off. Let's stop talking and start walking. I'm just gonna put this stuff inside and I will be right back.
Watch out for the poop shoe.
Oh no, it's poop shoe season. So I'll just start up here on the deck. Today is houseplant day. Houseplants are coming in. Frost is not in the forecast, but I say that while knocking on wood. Frost is not in the forecast yet, but it often isn't, and then all of a sudden it just pops up. So we do have a night at 40 coming up in the next week. Other than that, days are in the 60s to 70s, 60s to 70, I think 70s the high. And nights are usually in the high 40s, upper 50s. So, but it's time for houseplants to come in. So the chair is over here because I was spraying the ficus with Neem Max, which is one made for houseplants. Because this year I'm going to try to get ahead of the scale problems on this plant, which gets scale every year. Try to get ahead of this. Somebody else in a video said, just rip the plants out, it's fall. Why? I don't want to. It looks great. I don't want an empty deck. I got months and months and months of an empty deck. So I don't want that. All right. Stroll down this way. I think you can see, stay with me, please. I think you can see, Mr. Much More Patient is leaving, so let me just hang on to the little pup here. So he is super dirty again. I gave him a bath last Sunday, and he was this clean, adorable little fluff ball. Boy, does this dog get dirty quick. Okay, so the dahlias are just growing. The dahlias love this weather. Dahlias really like these cool nights and warm days. They just burst into flower. Unfortunately, we had a couple of days in the 70s. I was actually gone. I was gone for 3 days this week out in Annapolis, where it was in the 60s. Here it was in the 70s. And so the dahlias just burst into bloom. But you know what came back is the cucumber beetles came back with an absolute vengeance. I mean, they're so, oh, by the way, lots of people say those aren't cucumber beetles. Those are corn root beetles or something. Spotted cucumber beetles are the same thing as come on, as corn root beetles. Same thing, different common names, just like we have these problems with plants. So we are all correct. Here, look at them. Like there's one in each little crevice. Oh, so they all look like garbage again. I'm so glad I made that bouquet last week, so I got one. I'll just say that the urn looks really good still, and I love it in the morning light. Very pretty. Excuse me, sir. We don't go in there. Come on. Out, 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 out. No, that's not for you. I did do a little bit of rose pruning yesterday because the lilac days, Rise Up Lilac Days rose over here, oh my God, it just sent up enormous, big, huge stems. I don't know what happened back there this year. Nothing grew right, but at least there's a nasturtium back there. Oh, and oops, I missed one. We had beets last night, so I missed a whole bunch of them. So I cleaned them out here in the dark, which is why there's, leave all that foliage out here. I would say that, oh, this is quite pretty light, I think, unless it's blaring you in the eyeballs. Things are really quite lovely still. And I'm glad to see that I am trying to make the most of collecting, not all of them, but I am trying to collect some seeds for dahlias. The banana was so windy last week. The banana got absolutely shredded, which is fine. I don't mind it. And of course, it's towards the end of its lifespan here. I hear some critter just running around like crazy. Oh, this is a very long shadow. Let me get out of the way so you can kind of see this garden. I think it's still looking pretty good, with the exception of the rhubarb has just completely given up the ghost. I wouldn't expect any less, given that we've had no water on there. And this is not a garden that I've been watering a lot, but we're back to having to water everything. Here's the wild magic basil. Look at how big it gets. Just amazing. Excuse me, sir. When I say excuse me, sir, I am talking to the dog. Things are starting to be done. Here's the shredded umbrella plant. Clearly done. The Aurelia Sun King just completely, you know, when Aurelias are done, they just completely fall over. That's it back there, just completely just tipped over. And all of them around here look like that. These are the seeds, the seed heads on toad lily. And for as many seed heads as this thing gets, you'd think I would find seeds around, or seedlings around, but I never do. The deer have been particularly voracious lately. See, this area is due for more water again. Something came in here and messed up all my mulch. It was either I bet you it was the lawnmower. Doesn't it look like he blew this all? I bet he blew this all over with the lawnmower. So I'm not sure if I talked to you about this, but I have been considering this, and I actually been talking to Carol. I also bounce ideas off of Carol, so it's because she knows the garden fairly well now. By the way, we'll get her on here at some point. And we're gonna pull out, I hope this week, we're gonna pull out some of this Geranium macrorhizum that's long here. It's just, I love the plant, you know that. It's just too much. So we're gonna pull out some of this. I think I'll leave it right along the edge of the driveway because it's a very durable plant. Nothing can really affect it. And that's why I have like driftwood along here to keep the trucks from driving. Hey, come here, come on. Good boy, good boy. And there's a little bit of thalictrum in here, but I think we're gonna add some taller plants because this area I figure is part sun. So we can push something here into, you know, something other than just shade plants. This is definitely like a part sun scenario. I don't know what that's gonna be. I think we'll probably move the Geranium macrorhizum this year because I know where I would like to put some of it. And then in spring I'll plant because it's getting pretty hard to find plants now. Like this week seems to be when everyone's having like their we're closing sale. So buy your stuff now. Isn't it pretty? I should get you out here more often in the morning. Isn't it beautiful with the light coming through here? Still have to do some dividing of these pulmonaria. I want to put 3 over in this area over here. You like how I point with my coffee mug? This Persicaria, I think this is this firetail or is this golden something? It didn't do that well this year. I don't know why. It's been kind of going gangbusters, but now it's finally going again. Maybe it just gets a little crowded up. By the way, feverfew, oof, that baby's a reseeder. I don't mind it. It's very cute, but I certainly didn't plant this much here. I've been working on clearing out this area a little bit today. I want to put something meaningful in here. So, like that plant right there, that's a forsythia. It's an ancient old forsythia. It isn't in enough sun. Is it? It might. This one actually does bloom a little, but it's an old variety, so it's just straggly. So I've been cutting it back for years. And then of course this is like wild raspberry in here and stuff. This is a forsythia underneath the bridge. So a lot of this stuff is all stuff that has just been here forever since we got here. So I'm going to clear this out a little bit and try to get this area looking a little bit nicer. If I can do that now, that'll be less work in spring. Hey, what you doing? Hi. What? This is the second year that I've planted a dwarf Cavendish banana. And clearly I shouldn't bother because like it's done nothing over here. That would be a good one for a container, but I'm just seeing if there's anything over here that's looking good. Well, I keep pointing this out, but the castor beans are finally growing a little bit. I think I'm gonna cut, I do all of my cleanup basically in spring, but if I have time, I'm gonna start cleaning up some of these things that aren't offering anything to the garden right now. There's plenty of stuff left standing, and there's plenty of things to do in spring. So now I got to moving we're working on this side for watering today, so I got to start thinking about moving my hose around. I got up I was up letting the dog out at 2 o'clock last night morning, whenever that is, and I realized I had forgotten the sprinkler, so I had to go outside and turn the sprinkler off at 2 a.m. So that was a blast. Let's go this way, and then we'll come back. But these grasses, I pointed these out before. This is this Millennia Paul Peterson. Still looking really great in this area. Like that one a lot, and really not a lot of sun in that spot. So, see, some of this is like things have just disappeared. I don't know what was there, but there's, basically I could get in there and be weeding all that. On my projects I still have to get up here. I got to get the ladder up there and prune this Asian pear espalier. It's hard to get the ladder in there, but now things are clearing up enough that I can. Just to cut all those long. Hey, what? Oh my God. Oh, yes, this is big fun. What you got? Okay. Just to clean this up, but also I have to deal with that big shoot at the top. So we'll cut that off to be the last tier, and then from there it's going to have to manage itself. I can't keep making tiers higher than that. More of the monk's hood is blooming, and it's so pretty. It's really interesting. Feels to me like, again, like the timing is a little off, because the monk's hood is usually in full bloom at the same time that the climbing hydrangea is fully yellow, and you can see that that's not the case yet. The mahogany splendor hibiscus just really keeps going. I can see that it's, it needed more heat than we had this year to really show off. He really likes that plant pot. Oh! This area hasn't changed much, and I've been showing you that quite a bit. Oh, I did do some planting over here. I've added in, I think you saw that I got all those, maybe, did I tell you? They had a really good sale on plants at Home Depot, so I bought a whole bunch of Millennium Alliums and have planted those around over here. This is kind of an extension over here. This area was sort of weedy before, so we've got a Diamond Rouge hydrangea in there. This is, I think, Quickfire Fab. I planted that a couple years ago. It's not done great, but on the other hand, it's not its fault. So don't judge that plant on that. It was not getting enough water. I was just not. Sometimes I plant stuff and then walk away. So the fact that it's actually still around is actually a major feat. I would say there's almost no hostas left with anything left on top of them anymore. They've pretty much all been nibbled down. You can see that I did come, but this is the new shade garden that I think 2 weeks ago that video went up. Part shade, woodland garden. Maybe a woodland garden is a better name for this. I came in here and mulched it, and I did plant some Camassia in here first. Maybe we'll plant more bulbs in the future, but for now I just did Camassia. And then I mulched with the, hey, come in. Out of the garden. Thank you. Good boy. Nope, not in that garden either. He's very busy. I mulched it with the pine straw again. Then I ran out of the pine straw. So the other thing that... I'll put a link to the place I've been getting this stuff from, by the way, in the description. They also sell salt marsh hay, which apparently is great for vegetable gardens. And I am saving a bunch of it for my garlic, which is getting planted today. but I ran out of the pine straw, so I did salt marsh hay there. So I think that honestly, any mulch, it doesn't matter at this point. It's all going to look different come spring. So I got this area mulch, which makes it a little bit easier to see where there's plants and where there's not. This is just Champia Gold Tau, and it's looking so gorgeous right now. I mean, when it's got this sort of green center with this golden, these golden seed heads on it, it's really pretty. You can see that I started mulching in here yesterday. This area badly needs some protection and some mulch. So, oh, God. He just fell big. He just face planted right in the salvia. So I'm going to use some of that salt marsh hay over here too, just to get something on the ground, because the ground is just sliding into the creek here. So we got to get mulch and get plants moving to get this area stabilized. These three are one of my favorite spireas, blue kazoo. And you can see they look terrible. I think part of this is deer browse. Maybe I don't know what is going, but I think what I'm going to have to do is do like a rejuvenation prune on these, and hopefully sort of bring them back to life, because I love them. I want them to grow here. I really love this plant, but it's clearly unhappy. All of these pulmonarias are perked up because they've been watered since 2 o'clock last night. So this is the Russian cypress. I have more over on the driveway garden, but this is Russian cypress, like my mom had in her garden. So if you saw that, I mentioned this is such a good ground cover. I actually think I should, it's probably too late to find any of this now, but I really think I should be spreading this more down the hill. I think that would help a lot with the situation here. Plus, it's just such a good plant. What's not looking so good is my slender silhouette sweet gum, which needs water. Look at how sad it is. I want to get 2 more. We're going to do a little trio of them here. And actually, they had them at Home Depot, but I was irritated that they weren't on sale. So I cut off my nose to spite my face and didn't buy them, because I just thought, it's October, your tree should be on sale. And I know that those same trees have been sitting there since June. Whatever keeps them busy. So much like the Aurelia Sun King, this Aurelia, which is a grafted one called Silver Umbrella, is totally falling apart too. I think Aurelia is just, when it, like I said, when it's done, it's done. And it just drops its stems. Not the woody part, obviously, but the rest of it, they just drop. This area, look at how terrible this area looks. I'm sure it's because it's dry. I think probably I should just cut these hostas back now. They're clearly not going to rejuvenate. I see the deer were here. I have not done deer repellent for about 2 weeks now, so I gotta get on that. Everything is looking a little bit like it's on its last legs, but there's some pretty things to see still. Every week we check on this aster, and you can see that we have more flowers this week. And if it weren't completely eaten by cucumber beetles, this Karma Lagoon would actually be it's such an unusual color. It's a very blue purple. I don't know how to even describe it, but it's an unusual color that does not go with everything in the garden. So I feel like it has to be placed really carefully, but it does certainly work well with the Silver Shield Plectranthus. Here's the Eclipse Hydrangea. Happy that it's looking so good. I like it in this spot quite a bit. Oh, the grass is growing in pretty well. Remember, we had to fix this spot of grass. Growing in fairly well. Hopefully it can reach, we can get her out to the edges. I'm sure we'll have to overseed in spring. I also mulch. This is another area that this is in that video where I just kind of showed you I was filling in plants. Got this area mulched, although need to get more water. This is what Pulmonaria looks like when it needs water. Look at that pathetic, sad little thing. This is just going to be one of those days where I just move the sprinkler around constantly. Let's just see if there's anything else that we need to, it's worth looking at. Valley Porcupine Dahlia, again, you can't judge these flowers right now because they've just been eaten up, but it has just pumped out flowers like crazy. It's really pretty. Highly recommend this one, but look at all the cucumber beetles. I mean, there's like 100 of them right there. We also, I think the cucumber beetle trap stopped working. Or maybe it brought more. Sometimes they do that. Oh, here, let's take a look at the color on the hornbeams. So this is Fire Spire hornbeam here. We have 3 of them planted over here. Look at how, it's just really the first thing getting any real color here. And it's really beautiful. I hope you can kind of see how pretty that is. So I'm really happy because it's hard to kind of tell probably, but there's 1, 2, and then the third is down there. So a little bit of repetition there. Obviously, these guys are still looking good. They've got, I see there's like we got a little bit of die off in the center, which I don't think is uncommon. This is soft serve Chamaecyparis. And the Cornus moss, Cornelian cherry dogwood, still looking really good. I think that gets yellow foliage. Not sure. I'm just noticing that the big maple over here is just starting to turn. October 14th, which is, I think today is the 13th, is usually the day in my phone when I see that this has really good color. So we're behind in color this year, for whatever that's worth. The viburnum here, he's looking sad. Good color, but he's looking pretty sad there, I'd say. I think that's kind of the main thing there is to show you here. Orange field persicaria is still looking really nice. One thing I want to tell you was that I've noticed that I've been putting the persicarias in bouquets, and they are so good in bouquets. They last so well in bouquets. So if you are growing flowers and having access to flowers for cutting is an important thing for you, absolutely consider persicaria. Ooh, the sun is rough. I'm getting some shade here. Not that I'm complaining about the sun, by the way. Just don't let me in my eyes. Absolutely consider growing persicaria for cut flowers because it lasts like crazy in a vase. Plus, it's really a beautiful plant. Somebody asked me, another question I had was that they saw that persicaria is related to knotweed or a type of knotweed. Yes, and they want to know if it was invasive. Yes, it is related to knotweed. Well, it is a type of knotweed. I think that's like one of the common names for it. This is one of those cases where a very good plant is hampered by a very scary common name. So the persicarias that we're growing, and by the way, some of them seem to be called Bistorta now. I don't know if this is a situation where they've divided the genus into multiple parts, or if this is a situation where DNA testing, a lot of plants are getting new names because they're doing DNA testing on them and they actually realize that they're part of a different family. So don't know if that's it. But I'm talking about these named persicarias. So I have, some of the ones I have are Orange Field, Firetail, Bat Domino. There's a couple other ones in there. Alba, maybe. Anyway, those are not terrible, invasive, aggressive plants like what you're thinking of, which is the Japanese knotweed. A little note on that, by the way. Did I tell you this last week? My neighbors were out of town and their dog sitter and house sitter was there, and she called me and she said, "Can you come look at something? Because I think I found something bad." And they have Japanese knotweed. And these are the neighbors who are right next to us, right on the edge of the woods over there. And they have a huge stand of Japanese knotweed. Now, she was the most amazing house sitter ever because I showed her what to do. I showed her how to treat it. I have a little experience with this because we have it at our family cottage. But it will be, if it's not already on my property, I have not walked over there yet. If it's not already on my property, it will be soon. And, the challenge here is educating people. So, when I talked to my neighbor about it yesterday when he was back, he's like, yeah, well, it's another invasive weed. That sucks. I'm like, no, you don't understand. And this is right up against a garage foundation. I'm like, that will take down your garage. That will go through your foundation. I said, this is why in like England, you can't even sell a house if there is not, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, dear British viewers, but I believe that's the case. Like, I don't think you can even sell a house if there is not weed on the property because that's how bad it is. So that's not great news. But I guess if I've learned anything from all of the invasive weeds that have come through here and all of these stupid invasive bugs and these stupid the Asian jumping worms, I gotta tell you, I guess I've just learned that there's always going to be something waiting to get you, and you just have to adapt, or else, that's just what gardening is. It's just adapting to what happens next. We're adapting to climate change. We're adapting to invasive species. We're just dealing with it as best we can, and we just go along and enjoy our gardens all the same. So there's that. All right. I have a really busy day in the garden, so I'm going to get this video up. I have a lot of stuff I want to get done today because, again, time is a ticking. Also, it's really good time to work in the garden. It's really lovely outside. So I'm going to go enjoy this day. It is really beautiful out here right now. So I hope you have a great day in your garden. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Oh, by the way, side note, in every video, you see this ugly thing hanging here. This is a wasp trap, like a yellow jacket trap, which we have had up all year long. It's hideous. I try to take it out of pictures, or at least, crop a picture around it. And we have this up because up there at the peak of our roof, we have a perpetual yellow jacket nest. I don't know if these are, these are the right things, but what the buggy little obnoxious wasps. And it's up there. We have gone up there twice with a scissors lift to try to get it out of there, and it just comes back. So we were told that the only real way to handle it is to catch the queen. And the only time the queen's out is in spring. So we have had this out since spring. As far as I know, we didn't catch the queen because we didn't catch really much of anything until recently. And this is really disgusting, guys, but look at that. Now, I will say I see 2 moths in there, which is sad. I don't want to catch moths, but other than that, all I see in there is yellow jackets. I have not seen any honeybees in there or anything. I mean, there probably are a couple of pollinators that get trapped, good pollinators that get trapped in there, but this is like our main way to try to control a problem that we can't control up there. We have a lot of issues in our soffits, including a great trail of moss coming down from where that gutter ends over there. Don't look up. It just gets expensive when you look up. All right, that's it. Have a great day.